All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tom Backley. I'm the CEO of the Big Cities Health District. I've been here almost 9 years. Prior to that time, I was city manager in Hermosa Beach. And we're taping this first part. This is our first one of these walkthroughs. We're gonna have another one on Thursday. We're taping the first part, so if we could hold questions till the end, that would be great, because then we're gonna just take this kind of as an informational item, put it up on the website for anybody that wasn't able to attend the walkthrough. So we're gonna jump in and give you a little history on the district. We like to think we're kind of unique. I think you'll agree that we are, and we're very excited about this opportunity, and thank you for being here today. There. So you can see we're celebrating 70 years here at the Health District. We were formed in 1955, so we are a public agency. I think most people know that. We have state legislation that gives us our powers. So we are a special service district, an independent service district. So we have a board of directors that are voted on by the three beach cities of Hermosa, Manhattan, and Redondo Beach. And they elect our board each year. This is our vision and our mission. I won't do the PowerPoint karaoke, but we've really adapted over the years to meet the health needs of the community. So we started out as a hospital in 1955, and we'll go through the history a little bit. And today we've been focusing on preventative health for 25 years, and we have partners such as Silverado, who's here today, that have provided other direct services that the community needs, such as memory care. And we have a surgery center here on site. And so again, our goal is to really fill gaps, meet the health needs of the community, and we've evolved to do that over the years. So we usually start out with the finance side, because everybody sort of wants to know where the money is. And so just looking a little bit at our revenue and expenses, you can see that property tax, because we're a public agency, we do receive about $5 million in property tax. Property leases, you can see the revenue of 4.1, and then you can see the expense about 3.1 on property, and most of that is this building. And so what's happened over time, over the last 60 years, has been the cost of this building have gone up. We've lost tenants, we've lost some tenants during the pandemic. And so as this building gets older, we're generating less net revenue for our program. So you can see we generate about $1 million in net revenue from this building and other assets. When I got here, that was more 9 years ago, that was more like 2.5, 3 million. So it's been decreasing quite a bit, again, because of the age of the building and losing tenants. So you can see that we've diversified over the last couple of years with grants. We brought in about 2.4 million in grants that we haven't had before. We do have a limited partnership with Sunrise Assisted Living up in Hermosa Beach. So that does generate some of the partnership revenue that you see there. And so we do not have a structural deficit. Our ongoing revenues exceed our ongoing expenses. So I talked a little bit, again, I'm going to go kind of quick because we want to get to the tour, answer any questions that you might have. But this just shows kind of our history. Opened in 1960. Then in 1984, a tenant came in and operated the hospital for a while. And then the doors to the hospital were closed in 1998. And that's where we've been focusing on preventative health for 25 years. A huge place in our history was in 2010 when we were selected as a Blue Zones project area. And then in 2016, we were certified as a Blue Zones community. And you'll see in the RFEOI, lots of discussion about Blue Zones. We very much want this campus to be consistent with Blue Zones principles and consistent with who we are as a district. So, and I think what you'll see here is, we started out as a hospital, and then we've really kind of led the way in preventative health. And what we want to have happen with this building is we want this building to really match who we are, which is a leader in preventative health, a leader in health, and a place where people can come to be well. And so that's what we're really looking for as we proceed with this project. You can see that today we operate offer over more than 40 programs. Alcove Beach Cities was a huge part of what we do here. That happened almost 3 years ago, which is a youth mental health facility up on the 4th floor. And we've really led the way there in California and helping our youth receive mental health services. So again, just to run through a lot of our services, you know, we do gardens in the schools. We're very connected with the schools. We've been able to reduce childhood obesity in Redondo Beach. It's from 2009 to 2019 dropped 60% from 3.9 to 6.4%. So that's something that we've been able to do through community programs where we bring in parents. And so I think as you're looking at us as a partner or a place where maybe you want to locate, we are ingrained in the community, and we've been able to do things like with the community's help, reduce childhood obesity when others have struggled with that. Blue Zones Project, I think if you have more questions about that, we can tell you about that. This is a group that walks together. They've been walking together since what, 2010 probably, right? And so they started out just as a group that walks together for a healthy reason, and they become great friends, go to each other's kids' weddings, and again, I think you have to see it to kind of feel it as far as the sense of community that we've been able to build around health. The Surgeon General came and visited. This one I will read. We tend to believe that America's health problems are too big and intractable. You have proven that communities can take charge and reverse the trend. And so he was here visiting us as a Blue Zone site. He was able to make that statement based upon data from Gallup that we collect every 2 years that shows where we are as far as the Blue Zones community and how we're improving the health of the community. So we don't just say those things, we are able to back it up with data with institutions like Gallup. Care management, older adults, we have 400 older adults that we provide service to from anywhere from care management, case management, equipment, help in the home. It can be as simple as somebody coming home from a surgery to, in Carrie Ann, we have clients that have been there 25 years where we've helped out. We don't have a limit on it. We provide help where others don't. So I think you'll hear, you know, as we present that we fill gaps and we help where others don't. Alcove, I think we all are aware of not just the youth mental health crisis, but the mental health crisis in general, that even if you have means, even if you have funding, it's difficult to receive service. So Alcove is a way for people to come in, youth age 12 to 25, and receive free mental health service. We're in the final year of a 4-year grant with the state that we're trying to extend. And we're in the youth mental health business now for 3 years, which is kind of full circle from preventative health to actually providing clinical service, which Carrie Ann and her team does. So again, we're not shy about doing whatever is needed to meet the health needs of the community. So we're doing all these great things. We have the Surgeon General visiting us. We're reducing childhood obesity. We're one of 3 or 4 youth mental health facilities in the state that have opened up. And then you walk into this building and it's a big thud, in my opinion. It's a big disconnect between what we do and who we are and what this building is. And this building was who we are in 1955. I don't believe it's who we are today as a health agency, which is where you come in. We want to talk to you about what could this campus be in the future. If there's an adaptive reuse of this building that meets seismic standards, great. We had always looked at it, maybe we'd have to demolish this building, but we want to open that up. And I think the board is willing to hear from the experts and potential partners that would want to participate in that. So this are just some of the components of the campus. We've done a lot of work around it over the last 7 years. You can see from the materials we have an approved environmental impact report. So we do have an EIR for the master plan of the campus. But this is the vision: a new community space for health, well-being, and healthy living in the beach cities. And so the way that I characterize that is a place where people can come to be well. And so that's what we're we're looking for. And you can see all the different programs and what that means exactly. So moving forward, so we have the master plan that was approved in 2021 by our board. We have a bike path that we completed. That was kind of a key path for us because it connects Redondo Beach High School with where we hope Alcove will be permanently, which is on the corner of Flagler and Barrel. And over that way, we'll show you all this, and we'll show you here on the site plan in a moment. In the master plan, we had envisioned that phase 2 would be taking down, here, let me see if I can. This thing. There, oops. Well, let's just jump to this one. Give you a little better sense of. Which one's the chart? Oh, I got it. Yeah, yeah. So this is where we are right now. We'll show you exactly what we're talking about as far as what we're looking for interest from you on. We're going to be moving a lot of our functions that are in this building over to this building. This is a building where we have a land lease on this that expires in 2030. So when we were doing the master plan in 2021, 2030 felt like a long time away. Not so much anymore. So what we're doing is we're taking some of these things like the Center for Health and Fitness, which is on the second floor, which is a medically accredited fitness center that we would envisioned was going to be on the campus. We're going to move it to that 510 building. We have a PACE program for all-inclusive care for the elderly. That's something that we've looked at for a long time. We do have a PACE provider that's going to be moving into the 510 building. And then Alcove, which is currently on the 4th floor, we hope will be on the corner of Flagler and Barrel. So what does all that mean? So again, this is when I say 510 building, this is the 510 building, has its own parking here. So this would all remain. And then this parcel here is where we're hoping Alcove will be. You'll see in the RFEOI that there is an ad alternate where you could bid on that piece as well, because we're not absolutely certain that Alcove would go there. Or if you had an idea where maybe Alcove could go somewhere in here and something else happen over here, we're open to hearing all of that. But right now, sort of in our plans, we're thinking that the youth mental health facility would hopefully go here. We need to raise more funds. We have about half of the funding to do that. But again, we're open to whatever people may be interested in proposing. So community engagement, been a lot of it. Over the years, we had a community working group. The current mayor happened to be part of that. That's him right there. Treasurer for Redondo there. So again, this is something that the community's been working on really since 2009, I think, is when we first started talking about what's next for the campus, but really been working on it in the last 7 years. We've done study circles. We've really tried to listen to the community. There has been some concern from some of the neighbors. So we want to be clear about that, and we'll talk about how we've adapted to that and how that's reflected in the RFEOI. So what we heard was that let's integrate the campus with the surrounding community. Let's focus on intergenerational programs. So that's why, we've got PACE coming onto the campus. We've got a medically accredited gym where about at least 60% of those that use it are over the age of 65. Kristen can give us the exact numbers on that. So we definitely have older adult focus if there is. Residential care for the elderly. We have memory care already on the campus. Would love to have a youth presence here if we can for that intergenerational piece. Again, open space for the community, and that'll be something we'll need to balance with you as you're thinking about proposals. We would like there to be, if at all possible, some community space. So those will all be things that we would have to talk about and have a dialogue about. Density and height, currently public institutional use designation. So there's not a height limit or density limit. However, we have put in the RFEOI that the height needs to be about 60 feet and the density needs to be no more than 1.25 floor area ratio. That's just based on where Redondo is. Currently, we're under 1.0 floor area ratio. And so again, we can get into all those details, but didn't want somebody to look at the public institutional use and say, oh, there's no height limit, there's no density limit. Yes, we are putting some parameters around that in the RFDOI. Recently, we did a half day and we knew all these things, but it was really reaffirmed by our community, and we think that the half day folks represent the community, but they still want us to generate revenue through mission derived services. They want to leverage the campus to expand community health programs. So they understand that this campus in the past has been a way to meet our program needs, and they want that to continue. And then the third one is the one that I think sums it up best: create an intergenerational hub of well-being using Blue Zone's project principles. And so that's, again, still in the forefront of our community's mind, just from a couple months ago. So going to get into the RFDOI, and Sarah Jensen's going to walk us through
Thanks,
this.
Tom. Yeah, Big Cities Health District has a really amazing set of programs. So let's talk about the request for expression of interest, RFDOI. Oh, sorry, Mike.
Yeah, okay. First, we'll start with the schedule. So if you focus on. If you focus on this bottom line, which says key RFDOI milestones. We issued the this will all be on the website, RFDOI 8 days ago, last Monday, June 30th. And we are here today for the first site tour. It's kind of the family and friends site tour today. Thursday will be bigger. And responses, expressions of interest are due Thursday, August 8th. And that is, August 7th. That is the formal part of the work. What happens after is that the team will look carefully through all the submissions and then will select or will probably clarify a number of them, but we'll select one or more to have detailed discussions with in September and October, with the goal of making a full selection just before Thanksgiving. So that is the schedule. And here's our site. We have a triangular, essentially, site. This is Prospect Avenue. This is Beryl Street along the north and Flagler along the east. And you saw from Tom's, the orange building slide, that the buildings here in the gray, the 510 and the 520, and their associated parking are not part of this redevelopment process. The whole site is 11 acres, but the redevelopment section is coded in blue and is 5 acres. So 4.6 acres in solid blue here, and then another just under half an acre on what we call the Beryl site, hatched up here. So you can see that access, should you take the Beryl site, access could come off Beryl Street, could be a complete rebranding. Or alternatively, access can be shared. This green is a shared front entry off of Prospect. So it can really, there are a lot of possibilities here. Meanwhile, all this stays operational during construction, and there would be construction access here to the east and here to the north. So that's the site. The zoning of this blue section, as Tom said, is public institutional. The zoning of the Beryl Street, just under half acre, is commercial. So that's just another factor to work into the creative thinking. So a few project considerations. The use needs to be in some way healthcare related. And there are lots of things that fit into that category. And I think everybody should be encouraged to use a lot of imagination and do things that really could be interesting and in sync with the health district and its programs and its overall vision. The existing hospital, the building we're in here, the 514 building, has been deemed to need a significant seismic upgrade. The study that's on the website is from 2018. It is possible that with more modern seismic technologies developed recently, that such a seismic upgrade might be more possible to accomplish today in 2025 than when it was studied some years ago. So that's something that everybody needs to think about. In the event that this building is demolished, the vision would be for similar heights and densities and siting to happen with a new building. Because the neighbors have been looking for, you'll see when we go up on the roof next, you can see for 10 miles around. And these neighbors have been looking at this building for the last 65 years. And so they're really kind of attached to this particular construct. So you'll see that that's an important point. Finally, we wanted to make it clear that the health district is open to hybrid solutions. It could be part housing and part medical. It could be a whole number of different things. And it's not necessary for anybody to propose on doing everything. You can propose on whatever you specialize in, and then we can work to create the right kinds of teams to develop the site. So that is, I think that's the end of the formal presentation.